April 2nd is Liberation Day. And a lot of people think, well, that's when we're gonna start. That's where we think the RV is going to happen. Well, I think we're going to get started before that day. I continue to hear from bond contacts that they were told they would conclude their transactions this coming week. They have been telling me that now for about 3 days. They are exceptionally hopeful that this movie is coming to an end and the roller coaster ride is almost over. I was always told when the bondholders get paid, currency folks, will go within 10 days. That's the beauty of where we are at right now. That's the ground we stand on. There are no delays. Only the blind see delays. Only the greedy, foolish at heart, consider to talk about delays. The progress before us is incredible. There is some back and forth from Iraq about budget tables and Kurdish oil, lots of ping-pong and conflicting articles. Article: Government completes budget schedules amid affecting jobs and services in Iraq. They want us to know it's completed and being handed off to the next stage. We could hear something tomorrow or Monday on that front. There is a lot of conjecture that there is a rate buried in these budget tables. PM's advisor: Iraq's oil exports to the US increased by 110% in 2 years. 1310 is not a traditional currency. What Iraq used to be as a previous era, from the old glory days, that was a traditional value. Is it going to be something like that? We're going to have to wait and see, but obviously they're getting ready to show and launch a digital dinar in the country of Iraq. We are marching in the right direction of a date and a rate that has been established. The key is that they have a target to hit. Trump is saying don't mess with this target. Continue to distance yourself from Iran. That posturing that Trump wants from Sudani is because it equals security and stability. The only reason why we still don't have the new exchange rate is because of lack of security and stability. Iraqi ambassador to Washington: a delegation representing more than 50 American companies will visit Iraq. Quote: The ambassador stated that the meeting focused on discussing the logistical arrangements for the upcoming visit of a delegation of American businessmen to Iraq, which will include representatives of more than 50 American companies specialized in the fields of energy, healthcare, education, transportation, and other sectors. The future of your Iraqi banks, which includes digitalization, is the best way to deal with money laundering or counterfeiting or illegal documentation using your dinars, because it is so much harder to steal electronic currency than it is to steal physical currency. This is all part of the security and stability that will bring forth the new exchange rate. I have a couple wealth management, redemption contacts working part-time over the weekend. They are not expecting to start appointments yet, but are continuing to keep things at the ready in a state of preparedness. There are people who want to claim that Iraq cannot move forward unless they have a revalued currency with international acceptance. There are so many projects moving forward at this time, it would be futile to attempt to list them all. Iraq can and is moving forward at an accelerated pace with the help of the global heavyweights. Iraq's foreign exchange reserves cover 18 months of imports. The 112 system they have in place under the tripartite budget, paying salaries etc., doesn't turn on the oil in the Kurdistan region. I believe it's because of a real effective exchange rate has to be applied for valuation. Did we not say there would be a phase where they're going to show them the lower notes, ATMs, the new exchange rate, bulletin boards on the street, at the CBI, commercials? Article: The central bank announces new plans to expand the Azraflak campaign over the next 2 months. This is it. The definition of this word is extremely important: financial literacy. This is the start of the campaign of the education of the new exchange rate of the new currency. I think this is big. Sudanese. U.S. sanctions have contributed to reforming the banking system, and the rise in the dollar returns to construction. It is more reliable now, and international groups are coming to Iraq. Changes being done by Ernst & Young, and Iraq fully controls their accounts in the U.S. Federal Reserve, and there is no American guardianship over them. This is big. PM's advisor: Iraq's oil exports to the US increased by 110% in 2 years. The situation is much different than in the Dr. Shabibi days. I mean, a much better way. The economic situation in Iraq is hardly about to crash. What I'm hearing from multiple sources. The bondholders should get access to their funds over the weekend, and we're hoping that is Saturday. We're believing we'd get to set our appointments, more likely Saturday or Sunday. We're looking good as everything is coming together. Sudani used the stopwatch to stop time in Iraq. Nothing is moving forward, not at 1310. He's going to release the new exchange rate when he starts that clock up again. They talk about integration into the global financial system. So why haven't they done it at 1310? The answer is because they've not. I think we can all see that. MP Ali Al-Lami confirmed on Sunday that achieving self-sufficiency in gas-to-power power plants will save the state treasury more than $3 billion annually. Al-Lami told Al-Maluma, Iraq spends more than $3 billion annually on importing gas to operate power plants in the south and center, which represents a significant financial burden on the country's treasury. He noted that there is a possibility of reaching gas self-sufficiency within 24 months, if companies continue to operate according to the current procedures. He added, achieving self-sufficiency will enable the state to redirect these funds to support infrastructure plans and basic services, ensuring the funding of many strategic projects in the governorates. Al-Lami explained that Iraq possesses significant natural gas resources, particularly in the Mansouriya and Akash fields, which boast substantial reserves, in addition to associated gas from oil fields. These factors combined help bring Iraq closer to achieving self-sufficiency. It's worth noting that Baghdad imports large quantities of gas to operate power plants in the central and southern regions, costing the country huge sums of money annually. Economic experts have warned of the impact of delaying the approval of the general budget on economic activity in Iraq, given that it represents a strategic plan for economic development, job creation, and financial stability. At the same time, they emphasized the importance of disbursing the budget, rather than approving it without funding, as occurred last year. This comes amid government assurances that the economic situation is stable. The triennial federal budget was approved in 2023, for the years 2023, 2024, and 2025. However, Parliament must approve the budget schedules for each year, and the current year's budget schedules are still with the government, which is currently amending them. Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani confirmed that his government has achieved practical success in many service projects. Al-Sudani said in a televised interview, services are a priority of the government's program, and they came in accordance with a planned vision and the need of each governorate for service projects. He added, we implemented services according to 3 levels: service and engineering efforts, completing stalled projects, and launching new ones. Al-Sudani continued, we have achievements in several areas, not only in the area of easing bottlenecks, but also in important projects in the oil and industrial sectors. He pointed out that the capital, Baghdad, is the identity of Iraq and has been suffering from a lack of services for years. He said, we have launched 5 strategic sewage projects on the outskirts of the capital, and work is continuing to accelerate completion. Al-Sudani emphasized that there has been a qualitative shift in the health sector, particularly in the construction of hospitals and health centers in Baghdad and the governorates. He explained that a joint operating management system has been implemented in 7 hospitals to develop medical services and reduce the burden on citizens seeking treatment outside Iraq. He stressed that Iraq has achieved a leap in localizing the pharmaceutical industry and implementing the Made in Iraq concept in accordance with the latest international specifications and standards. He explained that Iraq will achieve self-sufficiency in high-octane gasoline for the first time when the FCC project in Basra is completed at the end of this year. He also noted that Iraq has major projects in place with international companies to rehabilitate oil pipelines to preserve its oil wealth. Al-Sudani continued, we have significant investment opportunities in the petrochemical, cement, and fertilizer industries, in which we have achieved self-sufficiency. He stressed that permits had been granted to build 1 million housing units, and that the government had supported the private sector